Hey, what's going on, guys? As you can currently see, I'm in the hospital right now. I'm supposed to be getting a procedure, but as of right now, I'm feeling much better. Thanks to God, and I'm just, waiting to hear results for my gallbladder, if I have a stone or not. So, this is just me giving you an update, and gonna keep updating you as we go on with this process. So I'm good as of right now. Just checking in.
All right, your boy is out. Been a rough few days, but the good thing is I didn't need surgery. I'm back on my 2 feet, standing strong. I'm back to work, doing what I love, and I'm feeling healthy and better than ever. I'm just really grateful, man, for real. It feels good to know that you don't have to stay in and get surgery. That's something that you could prevent just by eating better, taking care of your health, and that's what I'm gonna do. But this is your boy, and I'm doing much better, man. I'm grateful and thankful to God. Yeah, what's going on? What's going on? Wow. I am here today. Some call me Steps, some call me Saucy, but as you can see in that video, that was your boy. Not too long ago, for real. It's not even a joke. I'm doing this broadcast today to address my health scare that I had, and not only that, to make you aware of certain things that you have to avoid. You know what I mean? So, you know, I was in the hospital. Out of all places, that's the last place you want to be, right, guys? Is in the hospital. So we're gonna get to it today. This is your guy Steph Saucy. You can follow me on IG at Steph Saucy. But look, it's no need to say that when it comes to our health, we got to take it seriously. And after what I experienced, I want to come today because this is therapeutic, right? This is something that I am willing to open up to you about what I experienced and, try to show awareness to the situation that I had. So today, what I'm going to talk about is why I checked myself into the hospital. And the reason being, of course, is because I had a gallbladder issue. I was diagnosed with gallstones. And also, I'm going to talk about the foods, right? My Steph's top list of foods to eat and not to eat. So I hope that becomes very helpful for you, very resourceful for you, because we have to take care of ourselves. Very, very important. So, I felt like, this right here, man, you don't know how good you got it in life, right? Until you experience something that you've never experienced before. I mean, when I tell you how bad I was and seeing my mother watch me, in that hospital bed, it was a sight to see. I'll tell you that for once, but I would never want to go through that again. And you give it an appreciation to life even more now, right? So you say to yourself, you know what? I think I'm doing the best I can in my life to keep myself functioning, doing what I have to do as a human being. But no, it's not that quite simple, guys. So, you know, I checked myself into the emergency room because I was experiencing certain pains in my stomach, because usually I do have those issues where I'm saying to myself, okay, wow, I experience a lot of pains after eating a lot of certain foods, which I should have paid attention to but for years, guys, I've been dealing with this. So, you know what? I let it go for about a day or so. I took some Gas X, just try to relieve any pain that I was going through, any gas, any bloatedness. So I was good for about a day or so, and then the same sharp pains came back over the weekend. So what I did was I had to go get it checked out. First, I went to urgent care, and I explained to them I was having lower abdomen pain. They was able to press along my abdomen and said, we do not have a CAT scan for you because this sounds like a serious issue. So we'll write you a note in regards for you to get checked at the emergency room. So what I did was, of course, go to the emergency room, right? This is what these people are telling me, that there's nothing they can do for me here. I got to go to the emergency room. So I go to the emergency room and I explain the same thing I explained to them. I get in that hospital bed, guys, and once I did that, everything went downhill after that. I was drugged up. They was trying to give me some drugs to relieve the pain, some morphine to be exact, and that made it even worse, to the point where I was in excruciating pain, yelling, screaming. I mean, you don't want to go through that. Trust me, you do not want to go through that. So that's what happened. They gave me some other pain medicine, Total, to the point where they couldn't let me go. There was no possible way they would let me out the hospital that night. So they admitted me, gave me a room. Still was feeling the pain after I kind of whined off of the morphine. I got a CAT scan, didn't see anything, and then to the point where they had to order an ultrasound for me. You guys know what an ultrasound is. Women use it during pregnancies. It's able to identify what's going on in your body. So I was able to get a ultrasound, and come to find out, I had gallstones. Something that I don't know not a thing about. So, I stayed over the weekend. I was on a water-based diet, and the doctor gave me and my family some news I never would have thought. He said, you're going to need surgery. And that's when, from there on out, I became, pretty scared. I didn't know what to expect. This is my first ever time. If I was going to have a procedure, that was going to be the time. So I was good. I was thinking to myself, man, maybe this is for a reason. Everything's happening for a reason. So, surgery was supposed to be the next day. But then soon after that, doctor came back to me and let me know, hey, look, you don't need immediate surgery. You're going to have time to do what you have to do to get your health right. But we're not going to give you surgery. This is an issue that can go away over time as long as you eat right? You know what I'm saying? So that was a sign of relief right there. And let me tell you, when someone tells you you don't have to have surgery, you better take it for what it is, because that changes you mentally and physically, of course, as we know, if it comes to any surgery. So now I am sitting here today talking to you guys, and what we're going to do is do our research, right? You can't have the facts if you don't do the research, and we're not going to waste any time. Let's get to what we have to get to, which is necessary in order for us to break down what the gallbladder is and what gallstones are. So that's what I did. I did my homework, and I had some more information on the gallbladder. All right, so this is according to Cleveland Clinic. It gives you more of an idea what the gallbladder is, its functions, and how you can prevent gallstones, or what gallstones are and how they occur. So pretty much, here we are, guys. The gallbladder is a small pear-shaped organ that stores and releases bowels. Bile, of course, we all know the fluid that breaks down fatty foods. You know what I'm talking about. Those Caribbean foods that you like to eat. That pizza that you can't wait to get your mouth on. All that stuff. Ice cream, snacks, cakes. I'm telling you right now, that stuff right there is what we like to eat and enjoy. We have to have this part of our body break it down, right? So that's what I was dealing with, gallbladder. So it's in the upper right part of your abdomen, belly, and kind of I felt it in my lower abdomen, not so much in the upper right, because when I started to feel it in the upper right was days after, when I had the gas and the bloatness. So that's where I'm currently experiencing right now, the gas and bloatness. So here we go with that. And then pretty much the gallbladder, let's just get to the point, guys, what the gallbladder does. Before you start eating, your gallbladder is full of bile. As I mentioned to you, you know what the bile does. It breaks down your foods. The gallbladder receives signals to contract and squeeze the stored bile through your biliary tract, and the bile eventually finds its way to your largest bile duct, which is common called bile duct. Bile passes through the common bile duct into duodenum, the first part of your small intestine where it mixes with food waiting to be digested. And don't get me wrong, guys. I like to eat good food. And when it comes to that good food, man, it's everything, man. And you don't realize how much grease can really affect the body, because when I was eating a lot of foods, the Wendy's, tacos, ribs, mac and cheese. If you don't know, guys, that's my favorite food right there. Ribs and mac and cheese. You know how much cheese, butter, eggs, milk goes into mac and cheese? Yeah. So you get what I'm trying to say, right? Those are some of the best foods man has ever made. And now I have to prevent myself from eating these type of things, because look at what I just explained to you what the gallbladder does. It breaks down all those type of things. So if you're constantly eating that stuff, which I was constantly 2-3 times out of the week, I'm not even giving it a chance to store the bile. It's just constantly releasing. So that's the issue that I was going through. So here are the common issues that affect the gallbladder. Several conditions that can cause the gallbladder. Obviously, gallstones. They're harmless, they say, but sometimes can lead to disease. All right, so they're pebble-like objects made of bile material that develop in the gallbladder or bile duct. They can be tiny grains, as it says, of sand to large as golf balls. Obviously, I did not have a large golf ball, because right now I probably would still be in the hospital, guys. So let's just thank God for that, because that's not one of the issues I had. And then, they name all different types of, gallbladder issues. I don't have a cancer or gallstone pancreatitis. So that's pretty much, breaks down the issues you can have with that. So we'll say to ourselves, wow, what are the symptoms? As I mentioned, upper right abdominal pain, upper mid abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, fever, chills, light brown pee or light colored poop. All right, so as I mentioned to you, I had the upper right and mid abdominal pain, which occurs. And look at the main one that I just explained. What did I say, guys? Pain after eating a fatty meal. Now imagine how many times I was doing that over the years. This is exactly what I was feeling. And I couldn't believe that all this time I didn't realize I was hurting myself doing this type of thing. So eating the fatty foods, guys, that I just mentioned, is no good. Once in a while, but man, it's crazy. The body only can last but so long if you don't treat it right. Let me explain that again. The body can last but so long if you don't treat it right. So that's what it is. So I avoided surgery. So here goes the important part, guys. How will my diet change after gallbladder surgery? Obviously, I didn't have the surgery, but if I did, or if I do in the near future, this is what exactly they said. Immediately after gallbladder removal, you will want to avoid fried and greasy foods. So what I'm going to do to prevent that surgery is to completely eliminate that, guys. That's what I have to do moving forward. And if you are out there watching this video, make sure to like and subscribe, of course. That's the same I would advise to you too as well. So it's no joke. It really is no joke. And I really would like to draw attention to this topic, because it's very serious to me after going through what I went through. And I hope, that you understand how in dire needs it has to be to avoid the fried and greasy foods as much as you can, because it's not a fun feeling to be in pain after eating meals. You shouldn't have to feel like that. Ever so often you might feel gas, you might feel nausea if you had a food that wasn't cooked too well. But besides that, guys, we need to stay focused, and we need to pay attention to what is important to live a long, healthy life. So I pretty much broke down to you the gallbladder, the issues, what causes the issues, surgeries, and I'm going to get to my next point, which is Steph's foods to eat and foods to not eat, which is very important. All right, so let's get to one of them that I mentioned. And the first thing that I'm going to say to not eat is pizza. I can't tell you how much I love pizza, man. I mean, just look at this, man. This is amazing right here. This is a pepperoni slice right here, as you see on my screen. Just going through it, man. You see it as soon as you smell a nice fresh pie. You just want to dive right into it, right? If I'm not mistaken. So, pepperoni pizza, you are officially out my peripheral view. Not only that, I'll give you another example. This is one that I also like to eat a lot. It's buffalo pizza. Buffalo chicken pizza. Let me explain that and show you how good that looks. Oh, man. I mean, you see the drizzle. Do you see the drizzle on that buffalo chicken pizza? The blue cheese is amazing, man. It's amazing. It's if you can make it right, I can go for that any day of the week, but I got to avoid that. So pizza is number one. Number two, spicy foods. Let me show you some spicy foods? Here we go. My number one go-to food that I make personally is this right here. Oh, my goodness. And I can't eat this no more. I simply cannot eat this no more. I have to avoid this. Rasta pasta with jerk chicken. Now, I like to cook my jerk chicken on the grill because that's the best taste. So right now, you cannot eat that, Steph. Steph cannot eat that. So if you see him out there eating some jerk chicken Rasta pasta, tell him to stop. I'm going to stop. I can't do it. You can do it with shrimp, chicken, oxtail, all that stuff. But the main ingredient in that, guys, is jerk seasoning, which is very spicy. Depending on how you like it. Some people like it mild. Some people like it hot. I like it hot. And I make my own sauce from scratch. So it's no longer a thing, man. That's just one of the spicy foods. Obviously, I mentioned jerk chicken, rasta pasta. Let's see, curry chicken. I make that pretty spicy too. So Caribbean foods in general contain a lot of spice. So I'm not doing that anytime soon. So I just have to just totally forget about that, because that's no longer a thing for me to eat, because it doesn't break down too well. And my gallbladder, I don't want to abuse it. I just can't abuse it anymore. And even buffalo wings, man. I can't even eat buffalo wings anymore. That's crazy. You would think, oh my goodness. Man, oh man. If I could see a buffalo wing right now, I probably would eat it. But I'm going to avoid that too. All right. Let's get to the other part of my list. Fried foods. Now, I don't eat too many fried foods like fried chicken, bacon, stuff like that. But if I did eat fried chicken, it'd probably be one of my uncle's fried chicken wings. I think it's called Sylvia's he uses that seasoning. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Sylvia's, yeah. And, man, it comes out delicious, man. I mean, delicious. So I'm definitely avoiding that. You will not see me at your local Popeyes. You will not see me at Wings and Things. I cut them out a long time ago because they too salty. But, I mean, you get the point what I'm trying to say. That right there obviously originated from the South, right? And, we enjoy our fried chicken. I know we do. But unfortunately, guys, it doesn't do no good for us. Cooking it in that canola grease. Some people like to use Crisco, the vegetable oil, canola oil, as I just mentioned. Nah, I can't do it no more. Nope. Fried foods, I can't do it. And it's crazy, man, because, You know, a lot of times when you eat fried foods, it does taste good, but it breaks down pretty heavy on the gallbladder as well. So I'm definitely going to avoid that. And also, another thing, ice cream. I didn't realize until I went to the gastroenterologist this past week. And, you know, a lot of the times, too, I might be lactose intolerant. You know, I usually deal with it, but, I mean, just look at this ice cream with strawberries, chocolate fudge sundaes. I wasn't never a sundae guy, but I love me some strawberry ice cream, man. I got strawberry ice cream in the freezer right now, so I'm gonna avoid that. Not saying I'm completely gonna eliminate that, but I mean, if I'm lactose intolerant, I should, I think. But that's just something I can't eat right now. So what do we know? We know that I went through this traumatic experience. I listed my Steph's top foods not to eat, which is very important. And so, you know, you got to understand, man, it's only good to a certain extent. When you're younger, you can tolerate those type of foods. But as you get older, as I'm starting to get older now, I just can't no more, man. So that's the Steph not to do list for eating. But here is my 2 eat type of foods. Obviously, oatmeal. All right, you can start the day off with some oatmeal. I like me some oatmeal because oatmeal is not very fattening. It can get bland. You have to, you know, like people say, add fruits, you know, berries, you know, bananas, strawberries. I'm not that type of guy, but I'm going to have to get used to it. And we'll see where we go from there. There's nothing too much to add on that. It's just oatmeal just to start off the day. Fruits. I noticed that raisins are good for you. So I think I could just completely just eat raisins for themselves because raisins are good for you. Obviously, if you don't know that, you should look that up. Apples are pretty good to eat. I don't think I'm going to do oranges too much because they're very acidic. And bananas are pretty good, they say. Contains potassium, as we know. So I just got to go to the store, man, and just start buying fruits, man, that really going to settle right with my stomach so it doesn't bother me. And next up, we got greens, salads. Now, my mom makes the best salad in the world. I got to give her credit for that, man. Salad with cucumbers. You can use bell peppers. I like the red, orange, and even green sometimes. But the dressing, that's what I need help, guys. What dressing is low fat? Because I'm on a low fat diet. What dressing do you recommend me to eat? You could drop a comment down below to let me know what I should eat for my dressing as salads. Because I haven't eaten any dressings really since I've gotten out of the hospital. So, you know, here goes an example. I like my salad with avocados in it. I like it with tomatoes in it. I just had some pico de gallo in my salad earlier today with some white rice. Sweet potatoes I had in it as well. So just different options, man. That's a clean salad right there. That's like a garden salad. Yeah, that's good right there. So yeah, that's another one. Also, veggies. Veggies, you got to be careful with. I just found out broccoli has a lot of gas. It produces a lot of gas. So I'm trying to figure out which veggies to eat. Obviously, I like sweet potato, organic sweet potatoes. I eat cauliflower. I eat, what else? Sometimes Brussels sprouts. Squash is not bad either. So those are the one things I'm going to incorporate more. And it's got to be steamed, all right? You know, obviously, we don't want to cook it in butter or any type of fatty oil. So that right there is going to go right straight in the oven with some black pepper, just a little bit of seasoning just to give it some taste. You know, I'm going to do those type of things too as well. All right, so let's review. We got oatmeal. I said fruits. I said greens, which are salads, veggies, which is very important. All right. And how can I forget? Organic chicken. There's a big difference when you eat the regular chicken compared to the organic chicken. All right. Let me just give you an example because people don't understand the process it takes to make these chickens, man. These chickens bloom in a matter of weeks. not months. We're talking about weeks, right? So, it's crazy how we have to separate those type of things where we buy the regular store brand, chicken that you'll get more in a pack of compared to organic chicken. But it's important, I think, man. You just got to go with the organic, man. The quality is better. And those chickens are free range. They know antibiotics. They could be lying to us, but that's what the packages say. And it tastes fresh, man. I like it. It's USDA approved, as they say, which is organic. So I like to do that as well. Get organic chicken. So, if you see me in a local grocery store, I'm going to be picking up more organic chicken, man. So that's pretty much my list right there. And, this has been quite therapeutic for me, as I said in the beginning, to talk to you guys about my experience and what I'm going to be doing moving forward. So those are my plans. Let me know what you think. Like I said, you can like and subscribe to the channel, comment down below. But let me just leave you guys with a quote that I think you can receive very well is life is full of choices. All right. You're going to make mistakes. You got to learn from them. But those choices you make what counts the most. So make your choices count for you. And I hope, I brought awareness to you on the gallbladder. And if you're going through stomach issues, please change your diet. That's one of the reasons why you're probably going through it. All right. So stay tuned. This weekend, I got my Steph game picks because I didn't get a chance to get to it. Obviously, last weekend I was in the hospital. But thank God I'm out. I'm feeling much better. I'm doing much better. And, we're just going to go from there on out with Steph Saucy Talk and continue to create different topics. Obviously, my Bitcoin report is up there, too, if you like to talk crypto or if you're into BMWs. I have a BMW M3, playlist that you can watch, too, on the car show I went to this summer and also me purchasing my BMW M3. Until next time, we'll talk.